Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today is December 1st, 2020, and this is episode 146. Today we're looking at DCeased, Dead Planet. And this is issue 6 from DC, 6 of 7. And we've been enjoying this for the most part. This arc has been pretty good. Some of the issues are a bit stronger than the others. This one is very good. I recommend it. What I liked about it, the story was more grounded. We didn't feel like we're bouncing all over the place. It kept it down to about 4 locations maybe, but pretty much everybody stood still and told their own story. We got more of an unfolding here. Here we're showing Trigon, and we don't see this scene exactly, but it's a fun scene anyway. It's well drawn. And a friend of mine pointed out he seemed to be missing a set of eyes. Usually he has, I believe, 3 eyes on each side. Well, here they're only showing 2. But nonetheless, it's a great drawing. Very expressive, very exciting. And it kind of goes with what we're going to see in here today. I don't recall there was a lot of fighting or a lot of super action, but it was just good storytelling because it kind of set the bar and made more tenseness throughout, because we have this feeling of these forces coming together at different places. And we start out, we're back in Australia here, and Penguin is talking to Ivo about the army of androids, super androids they have invented that they plan on using on all the undead, or the ones that have the anti-life virus in them. And Penguin's very impatient. He wants to start right away, where Ivo is a little bit less wanting to go right away. In fact, he's saying, I've got to get this perfect, or else these androids could turn on us as well and kill the living as well as the dead. So then we zip back to the Gotham Gardens that is created by Poison Ivy, the sanctuary, if you will. Cyborg is totally back to his pretty much his normal self. He's got the anti-life serum, the antidote in him now. However, they're trying to figure out how to get it out of him. If you remember, he went to New Genesis and Apocalypse, and they figured out, they loaded him up in the chair of knowledge, and he got the information. He knows what it is, how to cure it, but he doesn't know how to get it out of him into a serum, so to speak. So what Batman, who is also Damian Williams in this one's at the original Batman, he says we need a microbiologist and a microchemist or something like that, or a biochemist, a microbiologist and a biochemist, and I know just the person in a Swamp Thing. He says, well, Swamp Thing says, I can't do it by myself. And the Batman says, well, you know what, you don't have to. We have some of the greatest minds with us right now. And they go through a brief introduction of what intellect each one of these characters brings to them, whether it's psychological or biological or botany. And of course, Batman has the best line. It says, and Batman because he's Batman. So I believe the narration in this is the character, I want to say Xanadu, but I know that's not her name. I believe she's the one narrating now in this whole series, but I'm not 100% sure. It just seems like it is. So as we get this kind of parallel storytelling here, where in Gotham City and in Australia, and they're both kind of saying the same thing. Whereas the people in Gotham are saying, we figured it out, we can save the people that are dead and bring them back to life, and these people are saying, we've got it figured out, we can kill off all the dead and make it safe for us. So Penguin and Ivo unleash their army on the undead, and as you can see, they just start taking everybody out. Okay, here we go through the credits really quick here, and hopefully I can get this right this time. The writer on this has been Tom Taylor. He's been doing a pretty steady job throughout. Like I said, some issues are better than others. It was penciled by Trevor Hairsine. I don't know if I said that last name right, Hairsine or Hairsine. And it was inked by Gigi Badassini. Okay, and I think that's about it. How it has different inkers for different pages, and Tom Dernick. Okay. All right, so let's get back on this story. So in the meantime, they got the serum cooked up. They want to test it. They just don't want to go out and start shooting people up with this. And they're saying, who should we test it on? And of course, Dinah wants to test it on Ollie, who she's got in a secluded area. He's been bitten and he's turned, but she wants to get him back. And Miracle Man says no, or Mr. Miracle, I can't remember. It's Miracle Man or Mr. Miracle. He says, no, let's do it on Barda, Big Barda. And he says, it's not for selfish reasons. Big Barda is stronger, and she's less likely to get killed if this virus or this serum doesn't work right. And so Dinah agrees. So Dinah, I believe it's Miracle Man or Orion. Maybe it's Orion. Maybe they're the same person. And Superman, the new Superman, who's John Kent, they go off to the planet to find Big Barda, who's been affected, only to find that she has escaped the traps that has been set up, or I should say not the trap, but the enclosure that she had been captured in. And all of a sudden, you know what's going to happen next. Big Barda's flying out of the sky and starts attacking them all, starting with her love, who she doesn't recognize as her love, obviously. And he calls out to Superman, do it, and Superman stabs her, and it doesn't seem to have any effect at first, and he's ready to blast her with his heat vision, and I think it's Orion. He says, wait a moment longer, and suddenly Big Barda changes, and she's back to normal. She doesn't know where she is. She doesn't know what happened, and she and her love make up. In the meantime, Constantine, and this story was a little bit draggy, but it probably a little more draggy than it needed to be, but we get Constantine. He's started collecting all these artifacts. I think he has like a staff, a spear. He has the cloak, but he's not done yet. But we don't know that. So there's some clever banter that goes on between his love. I believe it's God, I can't think of her name. Sandana, something like that. And he's got the crystal ball too that they got, so you can see the future a little bit, or a lot. So he's got to kind of trick everybody into helping him out here. He says, you stay here, you do this, you do that. And they say, why? And he says, well, if I tell you, you won't do it. If you tell you why I have to do it this way, you won't. And he ends up, then we switch to Gotham City. There's a fire going on. They're trying to save the kids. And it turns out it's a Snickers ad right in the center of the book. So they have Dr. Fate hanging out outside. They have this guy, and I can't think of his name. Trying to blank. Anyway, he gets in a little tussle with John Constantine, and Constantine's able to stop him, and they start talking a little bit. And he's kind of being real cagey about his plan. This is the part that kind of dragged. It could have been more succinct. We'll hear his future state, and I will not be reviewing this one. So don't tune into my channel if you're looking for a review of this one. It's coming out in January. So Big Barda and I think it's Orion or Mr. Miracle or something like that, Miracle Man, make it back to Gotham, and they start saying, okay, how are we going to do this? We have to do this fast and quick. We know Penguin's got an army of killer androids. And in the meantime, They make their way to the Magnus uh, laboratories, which is still intact, so they can pull more serum antibodies out of Cyborg to make more serum for the masses. In the meantime, in Paris, Trigon bursts through. He's been released, and the undead attack him, but he's taken them down with no problem. As we see the Constantine gang here, they feel Trigon's presence, and I believe they are somewhere close by, but they seem to be in Dr. Fate's tower or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but as you can see, they're all together here. Aragon, Dr. Fate, and the demon. I can't think of what his name is. I'm drawing a blank. But so suddenly the demon turns and stabs Dr. Fate with the spear, and the reason doing that is to weaken him so they can remove his helm. So it's the last piece of the puzzle that the helm and the amulet, actually. The last piece of the he has Shazam's amulet there. Last piece of the puzzle to create what Constantine needs to move forward. Of course, he doesn't tell us why he needs to do it or what he's going to do, because he says everybody will try to stop him if he does. And so we get queued up for the final issue, End of the World? The End of the World. So, all in all, a good story. The art in it was really nice. What cracks me up is like how the first page is so detailed, you know, you can really see the wrinkles and the shading and everything. And then you go a few pages in and it's pretty simple. Like, okay, time to get this issue done. So you see a little bit of that going back and forth. Certain things are highly detailed, other things are not as detailed, but the art overall is very good. The coloring looks great. I love it's not just these muddy colors, it's all these colors that pop and make it even more exciting. So it is a recommend, and I have more comics coming up. I think I'm going to try to do another one tonight. We'll see which one I pick out next. I got a bunch this week. So thank you very much for stopping by the Temple of Tomes. Please like, please subscribe. Please leave comments. Tell me what you liked or what you didn't like about this comic if you are reading it. And hopefully we'll see you next time. So this is Indie Comics Jones from the Temple of Tomes bidding you adieu.